I saw Moon first, and um, you know, I just thought it was stunning from the first frame to the last. I thought the thing about filmmakers and the when you watch a movie, I think you can kind of know within a few minutes whether or not somebody is talented and has some sort of sense of vision, and it was so clear that Duncan was like fluent in the language of film and was just kind of his ability was so he was so agile and in the story he was telling that I just immediately wanted to work with him from watching literally 2 to 3 minutes into the movie Moon. I thought, this guy, I want to work with this guy. The sense of somebody who's in a situation that at first they're very lost and they have to find their way through it and discover, you know, why they're there, what they're there for, who put them there, and ultimately, there's a little bit of an act of not, I wouldn't say revenge, but I think there's a little payback for the people who may have put somebody in a position where they were powerless. They kind of get their power back by the end. And that character is my character in this movie, and I guess in Moon, Sam Rockwell's character, in a way, does the same thing. Day in and day out, it's this it's brain work. Personally, it's brain work for me at the beginning of the day, and then you kind of have to let it go and tell this emotional story, which consists of, there's no consistency in that. It's like this guy who's lost all the time. And in a way, when someone's lost, emotions kind of hit you from all different sides. You don't know what they're going to be. And that actually lends itself to like a really great fun for an actor, because you can react or respond to any situation however you want to. I'm fascinated by time. I'm fascinated by the order of time, and if there is any order in time. I love the idea conceptually of all those things and kind of mining that stuff. So, yeah, it's harder in a way, but at the same time, I kind of get off on that, so it's fun too. I mean, and working with someone like Duncan who has put so much brain work into it that I feel confident when I decide to kind of do a take that's a little bit more off the rails. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to have so much confidence in the filmmaker that you can, you go like, I'm gonna try this. He goes, okay, go for it, even if it's totally odd and strange.
Who do you play?
I play Captain Coulter Stevens, who is flies Black Hawk helicopters for the Army, and who finds himself on a train one morning, waking up on a train, not knowing where he is, sitting across from this woman named Christina, who is acting and talking to him as if she knows him, but he doesn't know who she is. And he's pretty disoriented, and he doesn't know how he's gotten to where he's gotten to. And at the time where he's trying to explain to this woman that he doesn't know who she is, a freight train passes by in the opposite direction, and in the reflection of the window, he can see that when he looks at his face, it's not his face. Or he thinks maybe it wasn't his face, or he saw something, so he goes into the bathroom to confirm it, and he realizes that it's not him, it's somebody else. Coulter Stevens keeps getting put back into the body of this guy named Sean Fentress, and over and over again, over 8 minutes, he has to put together the pieces of this puzzle every time it gets put back in, and figure out who set this bomb up, and at the same time, he also has to figure out how to get the girl. So, he's got his hands full. All the other actors who are working on the train, because they're doing the same thing kind of over and over again. I get to vary it. I come in and I change this scenario. So each time we come in, I know there's going to be a different outcome. So for me, it's a little less maddening. Because what do they say? Insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting the same results. And Coulter Stevens is doing the same thing over and over again and trying to expect a different result. So it's sanity at its finest for Coulter Stevens. The wonderful thing about Michelle is her humility. I have to say, she is, everyone says that, whatever that really cheesy quote about acting, but I do believe it to be true, that acting is reacting. You know, her role is a primary, is reactive. So, her humility and her kindness and her, as a human being, every day, you know, I throw things at her and I can be pretty aggressive sometimes. And she's wonderful. She's just wonderful. She's a wonderful person. She's wonderful to act with. And she'll pick, you know, she'll throw something at you, but if you throw something at her, she's right there with you all the time. And I couldn't ask for anything more as a fellow actor. In the day and age when like visuals and the visual work is the absolutely most important thing to a lot of people, I think he's just still obsessed with storytelling and like watching human moments. And that is rare for someone that is his age doing what he's doing, you know, particularly doing it as visually as cool as he does it. You know what's great about this movie is that it's really fun, and it actually has, we've found that it's incredibly funny. And a lot of the moments that, you know, when you read the script seem like these kind of serious moments have turned out to be really awkward and funny. And like, we find ourselves laughing all the time, which I think whenever you're making a movie, that kind of energy on set definitely goes into the final product. So it's it's not just this like brain, actually the difference I think in a lot of ways between Moon and this movie is that there is a real sense of humor along the way, and particularly because it's so outlandish a lot of times of what Coulter finds himself in, that sometimes the only way out or the only respite for him and for the audience is a sense of humor. My standard is always pretty high for movies that I make, and I like, you gotta swing, you know, for the fences. So I hope that they take away something that is classically something like one of those great Hitchcock movies where paranoia is rampant and always there, and you're questioning every person and everything, and at the same time you're having a great time and being entertained by the action and the effects, and you fall in love with these two characters that you keep running into.